Harvey's Curbside to Go means you can experience quality anywhere. Call in and pick it up on your way home without leaving your car. No cooking, no cleaning, just dinner. Harvey's, a difference you can taste.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Harvey's Curbside to Go means you can experience quality anywhere. Call in and pick it up on your way home without leaving your car. No cooking, no cleaning, just dinner. Harvey's, a difference you can taste.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Good evening and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and it has been a fantastic day, fantastic night. If you guys have not gone outside, definitely missing out on the forecast, but if you want to do so now, granted, forecast looks good, but you do need to find ways to stay warm. Another chilly night heading into the start of our Thursday. That's our big headline here for the next 12 hours is going to be that chilly start again for our Thursday. Cool for school, some might call it. Have those long sleeves as you head out the door for school or work, wherever you're headed. Definitely going to be glad you did as you head out the door. We also are tracking peak meteor shower viewing, the final day of that peak. Just what can we expect high up in the sky? We'll look at that forecast in detail here in the Room to Room Weather Center. And here's a good one. I'm very proud of this headline. Bands may be a 1, but the forecast is a 3. All my band nerds out there know exactly what I'm talking about, because you basically have the rating and it's either 1 through 3, with 3 being basically average and 1 being superior. And so if you're in band, you want a 1, but then the 3 is kind of the bottom end of the spectrum. So forecast a 3, and you'll see exactly why. But I thought of this. I was so proud of myself that I was like, yeah, I have to air it. So although it might be confusing, it makes sense for those with an instrument, and they will be busy this Saturday. We'll look at that forecast here in just a moment. First 12, like I said, a cool for school forecast, 51 degrees by 11, 46 heading out the door by 5 a.m. And as we get further to that 7 a.m. commute, we could see a few low 40s, but more than likely in the mid to upper 40s by now. That gradual warming trend still kicking in, and we'll continue to see that here across North Mississippi getting into our Thursday. Aberdeen 48 degrees, Dew Point currently at 48 as well. So those temperatures already cooling off, but with moisture, yeah, it's us guys. With moisture in the forecast, it is going to limit just how much we cool off, gradually building in the area over the next few minutes. Excuse me. Ooh, I don't know what's going on. I need some water. Batesville, 48 degrees as well. Dew point a little bit lower, 46 degrees, so allowing for some more cooling to take place. Panola County, been seeing some cool temperatures, continue to do so for that morning commute. West Point, 51 degrees. Dew point currently at 47, and our skies are calm. Highway 45 looks calm for the most part. A few cars out and about this evening. I'm curious to know if they have the heat on. I know if it was the Maynor car, it would, at least this Maynor. But some other folks would look at me and think, Gabe, you're weak. How is the heat on in your car when it's only 51 degrees outside? Well, I am me. I don't know. I was born this way. Temperatures, 47 degrees Holly Springs, 48 in Oxford, 53 in Grenada, 52 in Houston right now, and we did see 51 down there along West Point. 56 in Aliceville, so some areas still teetering around the 60s, while other areas are talking about upper 40s. So shows you the disparity that we're dealing with. That's a result of some of that moisture kicking back into the forecast. So Mississippi Live Weather Radar, nothing to note in regards to rainfall, not that type of moisture. We're talking more about cloud cover, and that will continue to be the case as we get into our Thursday as well. No rain is in the forecast for our Thursday. Let me re-emphasize that for any folks that have any plans for Thursday, still good to go. But high pressure basically covering the entire state of Mississippi. Wow, it loves magnolias, what can we say? But that is gradually trending towards the east and taking a lot of that dry air with it. Our winds are already starting to shift just a bit, and I say shift, so you basically have these northerly winds, which means coming from the north on the east side of the high. Whenever the high is right over the top of you, it's basically nothing, no wind, it's a very calm environment. But on the west side, you get more of this southerly wind that's kind of pushing up there towards Louisiana and Arkansas right now. A good bit of cloud cover for these states back in the Texarkana area. So that's really what we're experiencing right now, and that's what's going to be pushing into our forecast as this high moves a little bit more east. So those arrows, as the high moves, the arrows move too, and that's where we'll get some of that Gulf moisture as a result. So getting into our futurecast right here, it'll show you exactly that high already transitioning out by 2, 3 a.m. and into our morning commute, already fully in Alabama. So shows how quickly it's moving and shows how quickly that environment does change. And so whenever we look at the state of North Mississippi and Alabama, you can kind of get a look at that cloud cover that's pushing into the region, but no rainfall associated with it. And those winds starting to shift as well with some of that southerly wind bringing in that Gulf moisture. So by the time we get into our morning commute, partly cloudy skies already in the forecast and continues to be the case by 9, 10, 11, all the way into that noontime hour. But towards our afternoon, that's where we could get some more, I'm not going to say dense cloud cover, but might cover a little bit more area before it starts to fizzle out towards our late afternoon, early evening time frame. So there will be a time late into your afternoon on your Thursday that we do get those mostly sunny conditions back into the forecast, but that sunshine will linger all day long, whether it's mostly sunny or partly cloudy. Either way, sunshine is still reaching the surface, allowing those temperatures to warm up. So while we start at 45 at 6 a.m., we climb all the way to 78 by the afternoon. So a warm afternoon, long sleeves necessary for the morning, not so much by the afternoon. So a great forecast still, a great fall forecast at that. And we'll continue to track those fall-like conditions here in the Room to Room Weather Center. Coming up in the next 60 seconds, we have a look at that meteor shower. We have a look at why that forecast is a 3 for my band kids out there. And also we'll take a look at those gradual warming trends that will take place. We also have rainfall this weekend. Is that enough for you? Well, I think I've covered all the bases, and we'll look at more detail in that forecast coming up here on Mississippi Live Weather at 10 here in the next 60.
A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
Scary that it can be put into anything and we can't even see it or notice it.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Laupon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Laupon has proven himself trustworthy.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
So we are enjoying fantastic conditions across North Mississippi heading into our Wednesday night. Macon coming in with 52 degrees, dew points currently at 47, and just going to be that dry environment overnight, but that all starts to transition into more of a moist environment by the time we get towards Thursday and Friday. But as you can see at the top of your screen, wind gusts basically 0. And as we go across the region, you kind of see those winds not overly strong, not just in Macon. Greenwood, still 0 miles an hour. And same thing as we're jumping out towards what was the last one? Pontotoc, still around 0 miles an hour. But today we actually did get to enjoy making some anemometers over in Prentiss County with a few of my friends out there in Marietta Elementary School. We'll take a look at some video that I got of them in action. So let's go ahead and jump over to what we were seeing in Marietta, and I'll kind of walk you guys through it. Was able to enjoy earlier this afternoon. So this is a look at the school. We got to paint a ton of cups that were basically Dixie cups that we put some holes in and pieced together with straws and hole punchers, and we basically made our own anemometer. And an anemometer basically measures the wind speed. That's a koala right there. Shout out Matt with his Wonders of Australia. And they were just so excited to customize their own individual cup. Groups of 4, pieced it all together, and there you see the 4 in action, giving it a good gust and seeing those move. And it can detect wind speed, and so kids were learning all about that. We were able to apply weather to the Wizard of Oz, as they're going to see that Friday. And that's kind of the inspiration behind the anemometer. I mean, it's easy, something that you could do at home. It only took a few straws, a pencil, a tack, and lots of love, of course. So bringing it back here to the Room to Room Weather Center. caught the audio that time. They asked a ton of questions, a ton of great questions about tornado safety and how to stay safe in the storm, how tornadoes form, how hurricanes form. I mean, very knowledgeable over there in Marietta. And so shout out them. They were a fantastic group and very blessed to be able to go be with them and see it all in action, see it all take place. And their anemometers, might I say, were 10 times better than mine. And they had 10 times less time to get it done. So shout out their engineers, their artists, their future meteorologists. Might see them on Mississippi Live Weather in the distant future, but still an exciting time. And again, a big thank you to Marietta for having me out there today. Very enjoyable. And I'm sorry that you're not able to use those anemometers right now because there's no wind in the area, but wind is coming. So keep those anemometers ready. Mississippi Live Weather Radar does have those dry conditions across the region. High pressure right over the top of us, keeping us with those calm conditions. But I said wind would move into the forecast. When exactly? Thursday afternoon. Reason why is you get this pattern shift, this moisture out there in New Mexico right now. Oh man, my western states got to get a re-up on that knowledge. But that is starting to move into Texas and Oklahoma, making way for moisture moving all the way here in North Mississippi. So our Saturday forecast, right there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. But as we get into that extended forecast, of course, we have several days till we get there, keeping that forecast on the drier side. So 50 degrees by midnight, 45 there by 6 a.m. Winds coming out of the south at this point, and that's going to bring in some of that Gulf moisture, and that's going to set the scene for more of a saturated environment, which means more rainfall. So Futurecast Wednesday evening, of course, staying on the drier side. Big reason why is that high pressure just slowly inching its way across North Mississippi, expanding things out right here. You get a good visual on that, and of course not expecting to produce anything. If anything, this is just that pattern shift that we've kind of been waiting on, not exactly in eager anticipation, but still waiting on and getting it in full force for the wrap up of our work week. So 6 a.m., that morning commute going to be a chilly start to the day for most of us. 47 Houston, 45 Red Bay, and 43 around Hamilton, Alabama. 46 Aliceville, and looking out west, we are seeing a few 50s pop up in Marshall County, South Haven, Cleveland, Clarksdale, and Greenville. So definitely going to be slightly warmer, but that's that warming trend like we've been hinting at all week long. Drop off 45 degrees for the most part, 72 there by lunch and 78 by that final bell. Long sleeves necessary for the start of the day, but by the end of the day, not necessary whatsoever. So basically dress for two forecast, right? Well, let's go ahead and expand things out one more time. And I know that, you want to see what's happening in North Mississippi, but it's really not anything happening in North Mississippi on that small of a scale. We got to look at the larger environment to get an idea of what exactly is taking place. So high pressure now has shifted off towards or should I say pointing this way, shifting off towards the east and driving a lot of that drier air with it. Back behind it, we get all of this moisture building in from the Gulf, and that's why this cloud cover is taking place because of the shift in the winds. So that's going to continue to take place for our Thursday afternoon. So for any of those lunch plans, might see some partly cloudy conditions, but luckily staying on the drier side. So that southerly wind, not exactly producing showers, we'll take it, but still building that cloud cover just ever so slightly for our Thursday afternoon, getting a few breaks in the sky. This is a little bit of a change in that forecast. As you can see right here, North Mississippi getting very minimal cloud cover as of this point. So a large portion of us seeing sunny skies, warming up our atmosphere and making way for some above average conditions, both in the sky and in regards to how it feels on the ground. So those high temperatures going to be warmer. 75 Corinth, we're seeing 79 Clarksdale and 79 around Water Valley, 78 in Tupelo and 80 towards Macon, Columbus, and Greenwood. Normally this time of year, 74 degrees. So we are well above that margin and just shows you that shift in the environment. We're feeling it here on the ground. So keep Futurecast going. You can see Thursday evening how we're tracking those dry conditions once again. I'm going to expand it out one more time because this will really get you a visual on those showers that are inching closer and closer to North Mississippi. Right over the top of Oklahoma City, that's where things start to get a little bit more organized to produce that low pressure center and even a few frontal systems as a part of that. So there's your look at your, let me get it expanded out one more time. Your warm front and that low fully progressing into the region, and that's going to be impacting folks out in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Now that is continuing to move out there towards the east. With this warm front, the main driver that we're watching here in North Mississippi for some of that prefrontal action. So this will be 6 a.m. on your Friday. Western Arkansas getting those showers right now, but by 9 a.m. into that noon hour, already getting closer to Little Rock, and we are right on the outskirts of North Mississippi. So a few light sprinkles possible along the Mississippi Delta and Northwest Mississippi, but I'm not overly high on those rain chances because it is such a dry environment. So getting into our 3 o'clock hour, you can see how that low is kind of wrapping around towards Jonesboro and I believe Pocahontas, Arkansas. But there's a look at some of those light showers inching into the region. Now, We saw it last week. Whenever some of these light showers show up on Futurecast, it tells us that a lot of this is going to be elevated. Because it was a dry environment last time and we had these greens pop up, we got pictures from viewers out in the field, shout out weather watchers, that showed us it was just virga. Virga meaning those elevated showers not fully reaching it to the surface. And that's what I'm seeing with a lot of these as well, just staying primarily elevated, meaning that we're not getting any, if at all, significant moisture here on the surface. So keeping that Futurecast going, of course, into our evening hours. That forecast does change, and we will start to see showers move into the forecast by Saturday, but that's going to be primarily for folks west of 55. We'll look at that here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and get into high temperatures for your Friday, and with that moisture back in the forecast, a lot of folks going to be mid to upper 70s because there will still be some break in that cloud cover that warms us up. 80 showing up in Greenwood and Belzona, so not an impossibility to get all the way up into the 80s, but overall I would say mid to upper 70s, a good roundabout margin. So as we look at that forecast for our peak meteor shower coverage, I told you guys we'd be discussing it. This is the here and now. Let's go ahead and get it done. So the shower has been going on from October 2nd through November 7th, but that peak started October 21st, or should I say the night of October 20th, and has continued into the night of October 22nd. This is the last of the peak. But it will still be happening all the way through November 7th, just not at the rate that we're seeing right now. So 50 to 20 meteors per hour. If you want to get out there and enjoy it, the best time to do so is 1 a.m. to dawn, but the best time is pre-dawn. So make sure to get out there. Try and see if you see a few meteors. I tried to look at last night and just go out in my front yard and stare up at the sky. I unfortunately did not get one, but I'm sure they were happening. I just am blind as a bat when it comes to those things. So cool and crisp night. If you are heading out there to go enjoy it, make sure to bundle up before you head out the door. But I did say we had a band forecast. Shout out Grady. He sent me all the information for it, and we were able to put together a forecast. Here's a look at your state marching championships happening in Jackson and Brandon area down around for Saturday, all throughout the day. I know those band competitions last all day long. And the thing that you're noting, Gabe, why does it say 20% at 7 p.m.? That's those showers already starting to move into the region. That warm front bringing that Gulf moisture and some of those prefrontal cells. Not talking severe weather, but definitely a few showers possible as we get into that 7 o'clock hour. But mostly cloudy conditions all day long will honestly help limit how much sunshine we do see, which can be a good thing and a bad thing whenever it comes to those band competitions. We don't want overly hot temperatures, could mess with our sound. So honestly, a uniform temperature, a uniform distribution in the sky makes for the best sound whenever it comes to those band competitions. So excited. Happy for everyone that's participating down there in Brandon, and best of luck for Mississippi Live Weather. I want to see some pictures. Grady, you do a great job at submitting Weather Watcher photos. I expect a few down there at your band competition come Saturday, okay? Deal? Sweet. All right, so that's a look at the forecast for down in Brandon. And as we get into that 7-day forecast for the entirety of North Mississippi, bringing it back up to our neck of the woods, we can see Friday stays on the drier side with partly cloudy conditions. Again, a sprinkle or two is possible. Not overly high on those rain chances, as I do expect a good bit of those to be elevated. But Saturday, and primarily Saturday west of 55, that's where that front kicks into the region and gets us at least some scattered showers, even down there in Brandon. But Sunday, that's your day. If you're planning on doing anything outside Sunday, I would go ahead and move it indoors, because we are talking about 50% coverage with the potential to go even higher than that as we get into the next few days. So paying attention to that forecast, we do expect that to be the day when it comes to those showers we're seeing here in North Mississippi. So have the rain gear ready if you need to head outside, but if you don't have to head outside, great napping weather. And that's what the Maynard household expects to do that Sunday. Monday and then beyond, we are seeing isolated showers linger in the forecast. So that is going to be something that we have to deal with, but honestly, deal with is a stretch. I want to say fortunate to have. We still need rainfall here in North Mississippi. Drought monitor comes out tomorrow. Not exactly envious, not the word, eager to see that. But we'll have to get it one way or another. We'll see how it turns out. We did have some showers that hopefully put a dent on it in some form or fashion, but we'll get a good look at that happening on Mississippi Live Weather during your Thursday morning. So I had the video at the beginning of my school visit. Matt doing a visit of his own down at the Wonders of Australia. He shows us a look into what he saw earlier today at, I believe, one of the beaches. So let's take a look.
Well, hello there from Lake Baroon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. You can see the lake behind me here up in the mountains. Yes, we've gone from beach to mountains and back again, over and over again on this. I'm coming to you from a restaurant and big place you could stay called Secrets on the Lake. And kind of has a treehouse sort of feel to it here all the carvings, and there's a lot of hand-carved things around this location, actually carved by the owner himself. I gotta show you the front doors here in a second. It's very cool. We've got a great sit-down meal coming, supposedly award-winning. Can't wait for that here in a couple minutes, but I did want to bring you inside and see if we can show you again some of the carvings. Very exquisite on this couch that you see over there. And I just thought the details on the door here, just very impressive considering this is just all one solid slab of wood there. Yeah, so Secrets on the Lake where we're at for our lunchtime today. We played our bowling earlier on. My wife beat me. It was not normal bowling. I think we'll post that video separately on Facebook there, but kind of a fun time as we, I believe, have a little bit of a river cruise coming up later on today as we continue our Wonders of Australia tour. And again, appreciate the good folks at MLM for sponsoring us here as we go throughout the land down under. But for now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpont for Mississippi Live Weather.
Well, bringing it back here to the Room to Room Weather Center, I saw some folks, shout out Ricky, reminded me in the chat, saying perfect football weather. Well, it is perfect for some of us. And this is a reminder for our Game of the Week forecast, our high school Game of the Week forecast presented by Casey Lott. 69 degrees pregame, 63 by halftime, and 58 towards that final snap. The further west you are could have the potential at a few sprinkles, but I'm not overly high on those rain chances. I think we stay pretty solid for our Friday nights. But that segues us into our Saturday. And Saturday, Ole Miss scheduled the worst game to schedule in this circumstance because they are traveling into the storm, both the storm of Norman, Oklahoma, but also the storm of the literal storm. As you can see, rain chances 70%, 60% all game long, so make sure to have that rain gear ready if you're traveling with the Rebels. Again, it's going to be a soggy one over there in Norman, so we'll see who comes out on top. The rain almost acting as an even playing field, so whether you've had a bad season or not, kind of makes it equal for both teams, but this is going to be a great matchup. Excited to see it. As we get out there towards Starkville, Mississippi State taking on Texas, the Longhorns coming into town, 76 degrees first play, 73 by halftime, and that final snap continues to be the thing to watch for. 10% coverage as those showers start to push into the forecast. By then, 7, 8 o'clock, that could be the potential to produce a few of those pop-up showers. And then we take it back to Columbia, South Carolina, where the Gamecocks are taking on the Crimson Tide. 71 first place, 69 by halftime, and 61 by that final snap. No chance of rain because the Crimson Tide is running from the rain. Makes sense. No, I'm just kidding. But either way, it's going to be a good forecast out there in Columbia if you're able to get out there and enjoy it. Should be a great football forecast, all things considered. Excited to see that Ole Miss game and how things go in the rain. Be interesting for sure. But this pretty much wraps it up. It gives you guys a good heads up on what to expect heading into tonight, tomorrow, and into this weekend. And we'll be back for your Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I mentioned those live shows happening on your Thursday morning, 6:30, 7, and 7:30, and then we will be back tomorrow evening at 5, 6, and 10 for the very latest on that forecast and the very latest on those rain chances. We'll see you back bright and early.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.